Alright, in this video, I will show you how to enter a trend. For that, you will have to learn something called as a rising 3 pattern, and we will discuss that pattern in this video. So this is a daily time frame chart of cryptocurrency Bitcoin. So on this chart, you have a rising 3 pattern, which I will explain. So here are the conditions for this pattern. Number one, see this candle, this tall green candle till here. All of these candles taken together, these 5 candles plus 1, that is, these 7 candles constitute what is called as the rising 3 pattern, and I will explain in detail now. The first condition is that preferably it should come after a uptrend. So the uptrend has already started from here, and this pattern is coming after that uptrend. Second condition, the first candle of the pattern should be a long real body. Now, there is no specific definition of long or short. In this case, you have to look at relative length. So this candle is longer than other candles on this chart. So that's why it can be called as a long real body, and it has to be white or it has to be green. It has to be a bullish candle. The third condition is it should be followed by a series of small real bodies. The ideal number of real bodies is 3. That is why it is called as a rising 3 pattern. But total number of real bodies could be 2 or more. Okay. So, and all of these bodies should be small real bodies. Number 4, all of these real bodies should be at or near the high price of the prior candle or the closing price of the prior candle. Imagine if these candles were here in this particular area, then that would not be a continuation pattern. The rising 3 pattern is a continuation pattern. Okay, so we are trying to enter a trend here. Number 5, all of these small real bodies should come within the range of the first candle. So what's the range? The range is high and low, the distance between the high and the low. So I draw a line like this, I draw the low line like this. So as you can see, all the real bodies are coming within these 2 lines. Okay, that's very important. Number 6, the last candle should close above the close of the first candle. Okay, and number 7, preferably the last candle should open above the close of the prior candle. Now in this case, that has not happened. The close of the prior candle is equal to open of the next candle because it's a continuous market, it's a 24-hour market. Whereas if you look at stocks, there is a possibility that the opening price of the last candle is above the closing price of the prior candle. That's the ideal scenario. So those are the 7 conditions that need to be satisfied. Watch this video again to clearly understand these 7 conditions. Unless these 7 conditions are not satisfied, you are not allowed to take the trade. And one more thing, after these conditions are satisfied, you are allowed to take a trade that would become your entry point, and this, the low of the first candle, that becomes your stop loss. Okay, we also need to know where to keep the stop loss, so that is your risk. And then there is no need to keep a target because it doesn't seem like there is some prior price point here. If there were a prior price point, look for some resistance. Okay, and then that would be your reward. So you have to look at the left hand side of the chart and determine your target. That would give you your reward to risk ratio. Do not trade if the reward to risk ratio is less than 2:1. Okay, if the reward to risk ratio is 2.5 or more, it is fantastic, because any reward to risk which is more than 2.5 it is like mathematically, if you, even if you get 3 out of 10 trades right, you are still making money. Okay. Anyways, coming back to the rising 3 pattern, those were the conditions for a rising 3 pattern, and all of those conditions are satisfied here. I have drawn these two blue lines. This is at the high of the first candle, this is at the low of the that candle, and as you can see, all of these real bodies, it's coming within that high low range. That's very important. So what's the psychology behind this pattern? The psychology is very simple. The market has started to go up, so the bulls have taken control over the market. Suddenly there is a rush of more bulls in the market, after which the price begins to consolidate. Maybe people are booking profits here. After consolidation, again the healthy trend begins. So here the market is taking a breather. Here the market is relieving the overbought condition. At this point, the decision has been made that we have to go even further. So at this point, the bulls again take control of the market and the price begins to go up from here. So this is a continuation pattern. Usually, if you look at candlesticks, they are reversal patterns, right? But continuations are also very important. The probability that the trade will work out in your favor for a continuation is very high, but the reward to risk ratio might sometimes go down because it's a very large reward to risk. It's a very large risk trade. So for example, that's your entry and that's your stop loss. So the risk is not large. The distance between the entry point and the stop loss is large. Risk you can control with position size. So the distance between the entry and the stop loss is very wide. That's a problem here. The narrower this distance, the higher is going to be the reward to risk ratio. Anyways, let's look at what happens after the rising 3 pattern. As you can see here, that blue line became support. So there is a concept called as change of polarity. So old resistance becomes new support. So this blue line was acting as a resistance. None of these candles was able to close above that resistance level. However, once that resistance level was broken, suddenly that same resistance becomes multi-tested support. So this line was multi-tested resistance here. By the time it reached here, it became multi-tested support. And look at our placement of stop loss. That was our entry point and our stop loss was here. There is no way the price has come even near the stop loss. So that's a safe trade. This continuation pattern also keeps you away from broken trades. Okay, what is a broken trade? A broken trade is a trade where your view is correct. So your view is that the market will go up. However, if you keep your stop loss, say your entry is here and you keep your stop loss here, your stop loss gets hit and then the price starts to go up. That's a broken trade. You don't want to get into broken trades. Unnecessarily, you will lose money. Unnecessarily, you will end up paying the brokerage, right? Why do you want to do all of that? Just keep your stop loss far away. Look at this trade. I think you've got nice 3:1 or probably 4:1 on this trade. However, there was a small hiccup here that would have made you a bit nervous. But since it is not confirming some prior resistance, you could have held on to that trade. Anyways, how to manage a trade, that's a different story. I will make many more videos on how to manage trades. I think I made a video on the Euro USD where I taught you candle by candle how to manage a trade. So have a look at that video. Also have a look at this link where I have placed my Japanese candlesticks trading mastery program. In this program, I have created 1000 plus chart examples. Learn from those chart examples. Students from more than 170 countries are enrolled in this program. and they are doing the program. It's a completely video training program. It has multiple levels. As of now, there are 15 levels of training, right? Each level would be roughly 5 to 10 hours. Some levels are more than uh, 13 hours. Okay, so have a look at that. I will be launching level 16 soon. In level 16, I will be discussing the rising 3 and the falling 3 pattern in detail. Here, I just wanted to give you a preview of how powerful this pattern could be. So, have a look at the training program. Start with level 1. Continue to use whatever existing trading system you are using. Don't change that because you are used to that system. However, add to that the candlesticks knowledge that I am presenting here, that would help you increase your trading success rate. So if you are getting like 6 out of 10 trades right, maybe using these systems, candlesticks knowledge, you could get 7 out of 10 trades right. And by the way, this is the territory of genius. Generally, if you get 5 out of 10 right, even that is fantastic. If you get 6 out of 10 right, you are genius. And if you get 7 out of 10 right, you are an alien. Okay, so trading is not easy. Please understand that. The markets are volatile, they keep going up and down. Prices don't go up or down because of patterns. Remember that. Prices don't go up and down because of patterns. Prices go up and down because of imbalance of conviction between the buyers and sellers. You could easily have a hammer pattern and the price might continue to go down. Okay, so what we are doing with patterns is we are trying to put the odds in our favor. Okay, that's the goal here. Anyways, go to this link, have a look at the Japanese candlesticks trading mastery program that I have created for you. I think it has got more than 32,000 students as of now. So I think that program will definitely help you in your trading in some way. My focus is entirely Japanese candlesticks. I am not even using any Western indicator here. If you do want to use a Western indicator on this pattern, I would encourage you to have a look at something called as ADX. At the close of this candle, if the ADX is more than 20, we are looking at a very high probability trade, because an ADX more than 20 allows you to follow a trend following system, and ADX preferably should be rising. ADX is simply a line, okay, appears at the bottom of the chart, a highly sophisticated indicator. So a rising ADX represents that the trend is strong. It could be any trend, downtrend or uptrend, but if the ADX is rising at this candle, it means the uptrend is strong. Okay, so that way you can take confirmation if you want to look at Western indicators. And by the way, even ADX is something which I have covered in one of my levels. I have dedicated an entire course or a level just to discuss the ADX, how you can combine the power of ADX with candlesticks. So go to this link, it will help you a lot.